That thumbnail you see is Joe Biden's 70 billionaire donors laughing at the idea that Joe Biden could be pushed to the left. They are also laughing at the progressives who can eloquently state why money in politics is such a bad thing and such a corrupting influence. But at the same time, they think Joe Biden with his cabinet of Michael Bloomberg, Pete Buttigieg, Amy Klobuchar, they think that they can push that administration left. The same progressives that will claim they're anti-establishment will wear an anti-establishment badge proudly until the establishment asks for the vote. And then you see, like always, the people who claim they're anti-establishment will fall right in line and vote for a Democrat because they must stop Donald Trump, who, despite me asking people constantly on Twitter, what's the difference between Joe Biden and Donald Trump and their temperament, their policy, the fact that they both have rape accusations levied against them, credible rape allegations on top of all that. And like I said, their temperament as well, because the same people that think they can move Joe Biden to the left must have missed this entire campaign. Because I remember when there was an immigrant activist at one of Donald Trump's rallies, and at Joe Biden rally, and he was a very nice guy, very polite, and he challenged Joe Biden on his record on immigration. And the response from Joe Biden is very, very telling. Joe Biden turned his back to him, and he told him to vote for Trump. So what is that? Is that admission? Is that you saying that Trump is more left-wing than you on immigration? I think that's a sign that Joe Biden will not be moved to the left on immigration at all, because the idea of someone even remotely challenging him on immigration told that voter to vote for Trump. So now Joe Biden has a massive Latino problem. He got a massive young people problem as well. I mean, if my Twitter base, I understand that Twitter creates echo chambers and all that, right? But I ran a poll asking my followers who should progressives rally behind, and 60% of them said Howie Hawkins. Now, at the end of the day, I think a lot of progressives have Trump Derangement Syndrome, and I think they will fall in line, unfortunately. But I do think there is no reason why we can't get Green Party to 5% this election cycle, because once again, the same people who claim they're anti-establishment, right? The same people who will chant healthcare is a human right, healthcare is a human right. They're promoting and endorsing a guy who said he would veto Medicare for all. The same people who fearmonger me about the Supreme Court, the same people that do that. Hey, we need to protect the Supreme Court. Well, Joe Biden said he would veto Medicare for all. So what makes you think I trust him with Supreme Court justices? He would put a Supreme Court justice on the bench that will probably rule Medicare for all unconstitutional. What makes you think he wouldn't do that? There's no reason to think he wouldn't put a Supreme Court justice on the bench that will rule a Green New Deal unconstitutional. No reason to believe that at all. Once again, the same people who can eloquently state why money in politics is a bad idea, they trust Joe Biden and his 70 billionaire donors will listen and be receptive to our movement. Look at how they treat Nina Turner and Breonna Joy Gray. The people who are not so easily falling in line. The people that are literally just asking for policy concessions. Look how they're being treated by the Joe Biden campaign. Look how they were being treated by Blue MAGA. Look how they're being treated by the party. Remember, these are independent voters. We're not bad people. I was in South Carolina. I talked to a lot of these people. These people aren't bad people. They're working class people. So I find it extremely hilarious that you had a Never Bernie coalition who was openly saying they won't vote for Bernie Sanders, who was wealthy, who was rich. And that position is considered the dub position. But you have the working class people, you have poor people who reject neoliberal capitalism and who will not vote for Joe Biden, and we're considered selfish and we're considered privileged. Someone explain to me how that makes sense. And someone please show me the success that voting for the lesser of two evils has had for the progressive movement and for working class families. If 68,000 Americans didn't die because they didn't have health care, yeah, I'd be a little bit more open towards the lesser of two evils. Yes, I would be a little bit more open to it if we didn't have 1 in 4 children living in poverty right now. I'll be more open to it if our life expectancy wasn't falling and about 10 years lower than countries that had democratic socialism or social democracy. Sweden, Norway, they crush us in life expectancy, right? And then you have Joe Biden, who his concession to the left was to lower Medicare age to 60. So according to Joe Biden, I'm not going to be eligible to have health care until the year 2050. The same decade that we probably not even get to. Climate change is going to fuck us up, right? The same people that believe that the climate crisis is a real thing going to fucking elect a fracker. And you guys want to see, this is why I'm not holding my tongue, because this is ridiculous. And people want to understand what people want to say to me. What should we do moving forward? What should we do? Well, we lost. Bernie lost. But this is the best case scenario for progressives. And I literally thought about this. This is something I considered. The best case scenario for progressives is Joe Biden losing, unfortunately, right? But the Democrats get the Senate back. And in this scenario, the Democrats have to have a spine, and they must block Trump Supreme Court justices until 2024. And they use the Republicans blocking Merrick Garland as precedent for them able to do that, which is why it was a bad idea for Republicans to do that. And then they can cite the 25th Amendment. They can, if they're smart. Once again, they're not going to do that. They can cite the 25th Amendment. They can cite all of the crimes that Trump has broken. They can cite the fact that he's been impeached and use that as a reason to block his Supreme Court picks. So if they do that into the year 2024, and we elect a progressive in 2024, then and only then, that's the only win condition I see for us at this point. Otherwise, we got to continue to elect people on down ballot campaigns. For example, one big race we need to win is Shahid Buttar. Jen, who's running to beat Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I think her election's in April, I believe. Actually, I think it's in a few weeks. Fuck, I don't remember. But they have an election coming up. We really need Jen to win that race. So that's my plan. Is continue to fight for progressive down ballot candidates, because if you truly believed in the platform, you're not gonna just give up just because Bernie Sanders lost. And this is what I'm telling people. I truly believe Bernie Sanders was the compromise. Bernie Sanders was a great leader, a very inspirational guy, but he was the compromise. Because I would have loved someone who was supporting legalizing all drugs. I would have loved a progressive who was on board for UBI. I would have loved a more anti-establishment progressive. Bernie Sanders once again, I don't want to trash Bernie. I'm not going that route here. But my ideal candidate would call out the media and wouldn't have cared about his legacy at the end of the day. Because I think one thing that I see, one criticism I have of Bernie is I don't think he realized how big it was. Like, this movement was so big and it was such a big impact on people that I think he really had to not worry about being labeled as the left version of Trump. He had to go after the media. He had to crush them. He had to crush the Democratic establishment. And the reason, and him not doing that is why I think he lost a lot of the momentum that he had in 2016, and lost a lot of the anti-establishment vote, a lot of the anti-Hillary vote. Because if you look at polls, it's just a fact that a lot of people that supported Bernie in 2016, they were just anti-Hillary. So we needed a progressive who wasn't friends with Joe Biden, who wouldn't say Joe Biden could beat Trump, because that's not even true, right? You don't know that. But don't get me wrong, Bernie Sanders is great. I think he's a great guy. He's still one of my heroes. But I think we can continue to elect down ballot progressives. I think we'd be surprised. I think we can find our next great leader to rally behind pretty soon.